So, if you're wondering why I was mostly gone during the month of July, I was preparing a very long video. For most of the month was dedicated to scripting, editing, recording, and playing a game for one specific video, the BlazBlue Calamity Trigger retrospective. And I wasn't really sure how the game was going to turn out, because I wasn't sure how much of a departure it was. I was always very much focused on video games. All my most successful uploads were that related, so I'd think that it wouldn't be too much of a drop-off, and that things would be fine. Like, I would probably take a hit for how different it was. I had never uploaded a retrospective, but to say I was a little bit troubled by how much it sort of flatlined was... It's disappointing, to say the least. When I had first finished it, I had to private it immediately because it got hit with a copyright claim that completely destroyed its ability to be recommended to people. 10 seconds of the game's intro was all it took to just stop being recommended. Half of the viewing numbers for the 400 views I had at the time when I uploaded it on, I think it was a Monday night, was like 50% was of 400 views. So I privated it and said that I would have to resolve the issue, and it took 3 hours to render, because it's just shy of a 3-hour video. It's 2 hours 50 minutes almost on the dot. So it took 3 hours to render, another 3 hours to upload. So that's an entire afternoon kind of dedicated to babysitting the computer and making sure all the details are right and that it doesn't mess up when uploading. And for basically nothing to happen. It's gotten, I think of the time of recording, 2,000 views, which I really don't want to blame anyone. You don't have to watch it, of course. That would be very childish of me to start pointing fingers and said, oh, it flopped because you didn't watch it. You aren't grateful for the effort put. That's not what I'm saying, but I think there were some kind of algorithm shenanigans because it's just not getting any impressions because it's not being recommended. I don't know if it's the thumbnail or the title, something that it just didn't look palatable, because it's got one of my lowest CTR rates at like 3%, which is terrible. I was bummed out for a bit, and I kept my chin up, I worked on a video right after, and it's been doing a lot better, thank you very much. I know the South Park one wasn't everyone's cup of tea for sure, but it was something. I kind of just needed to get out of the funk, but I had been ignoring it too long, and I can't say after about a month of effort put into something with basically no return, it is kind of disheartening, to be honest. Like, I really can't hide the fact anymore with how... It was definitely a passion project for me, because I know, not everyone was interested in BlazBlue. I got plenty of people who talked to me who were, and they were delighted to see it. It wasn't perfect. I can hardly claim that it's some kind of flawless video gift from God you need to see, but it just, whatever it was, people suggest the thumbnail wasn't good enough, or the title. I really don't know. Like, I'm still very much a newcomer to the kind of branding thing, but it just kind of flatlined. I'm getting like 100 views a day. It's just not being recommended to anyone, which is strange because almost everything I've uploaded was. And I think a part of that is because I didn't upload anything for almost a month, which I didn't really know at the time, but in retrospect is a very big no-no. You really don't want to just leave your channel, but it does kind of run into an issue of, like, if I wanted to make something similarly of that length, how am I supposed to do it? I think there's a moment in a lot of people's sort of online careers, if they plan on doing this professionally, or at least trying to get some kind of attention and monetary value, is, when do I sell out? And I don't think I've just sold out. I haven't gotten any, like, garbage sponsorships trying to peddle some kind of scams, but I think it was kind of a wake-up call for me to just not solely focus on the quote artistic passion of it and make it a bit more marketable. It was kind of just the perfect storm of I took too long to make it on a topic people didn't care about, and that's why it didn't get anywhere. I was doing my best to try and just take it on the chin and not deal with it, but it has performed so poorly that it's made like $3. I can't even pay, like, if I was paying with just the wages I got from that video, I wouldn't even be able to pay the artist for the thumbnail he gave me. It was more expensive than how much the video's made in over a week, and it's been 8 days. Pretty sure it's been 8 days, and I was waiting. Sometimes it takes a couple days to sort of catch heat, but this is easily one of my 5 worst performing videos I've ever made, and the other 5 there would just be like an update to the Mario thing, or like a very quick joke that's 2 minutes long, not even. And it really does just kind of, it is depressing to see something that's almost 3 hours just completely flatline and get no attention from it, because for some reason it didn't show up in anyone's recommended. And I've debated trying to fix something. I don't know if it was the title. People just didn't like the title of it, or if the thumbnail just kind of killed it in the algorithm. There's only so much I can sort of blame on the algorithm. I don't want to make myself out to be some kind of victim who did nothing wrong. But there isn't a lot of information on what exactly I could do, as much as I could wish someone working would just tell me, like, oh, give me a bullet point of lists. Like, here you go. You did this, that, this wrong. And I could learn from it. But it was a gamble. I spent almost the entirety of July when I could have made a lot more separate, smaller projects and probably have made like more money and gotten more attention, kind of grown the channel if I hadn't done it. But the gamble failed. The passion project failed. It got no money, it got no views, and I would say I'm in a worse place for it, because all the time I focused to it kind of just killed my channel and the algorithm for a bit. I'm recovering now. It's not like this isn't some kind of like me on my knees begging for something, but there is things I just kind of want to get off my chest about it, that it is disappointing. It for a while, it really did kind of break my heart that not a lot of people really wanted to see it, which I think kind of teaches me a valuable lesson that whatever the style I was going for, it just wasn't good enough, which is unfortunate. I know people who've watched it, but not many people would, like, I don't know if the people watched it kind of, I'm just not really sure how to explain the entire situation. I suppose it's something of a sore spot, because I spent, towards the end of it, I would get 30 minutes of editing done in Premiere a day just by sitting there and kind of letting my life pass me by, and there was no return for it, which is just really unfortunate. I really can't ignore the feeling anymore. It genuinely did make me very depressed for a couple days. It is, there's only so many ways I can keep putting it I'm very fortunate to have the position I do. It's just, I don't know what I did wrong. Is there any way I could try and, revitalize it? I've tried putting it in playlists, I've tried changing some tags around. I don't know if it's the branding, but something about it just completely died, and I'm almost debating on re-uploading it entirely, because I have the files. It would just take another 3 hours, but I think at this point people are kind of sick of me re-uploading things just because I'm crying about it not getting enough views. But it is unfortunate that maybe I was too cocky in letting people thinking I could just cover everything as some kind of variety channel, but I'm not really a variety channel. 90% of my content's still focused on games. I thought it wouldn't be that big of a departure, but according to the website it was, because they decided not to promote it, which it sucks. I really can't speak about it flowery. It's terrible. Like, it's dead. Alright? And I don't think there's anything I can do about that, which is really sour, considering that's supposed to be part 1 of a 4-part series. Like, part 2 is not coming anytime soon, mind you. I've made that very clear, but I can't say I'm very motivated to try and work on a second part if I know the first part's done horribly. Like, maybe it was the editing. Like, people just didn't want to see kind of like maybe it was too stale. Like, it wasn't exciting, it wasn't flashy. But I don't know. If you have seen it, you can definitely leave some feedback if you care to. You obviously aren't required to see it. I still very much value your time as you would value your own time, so it's simply optional. You don't have to click it, but it wasn't even the CTR rate of people just not being interested. Nobody saw it because it wasn't being pushed, and I don't understand why. And it kind of leads me to question my own ability to perform and put things out. Because even the time, maybe a day before I had uploaded it, I combined both parts of the Mario ARG, and it's grown slower than the other two. That's getting maybe a couple hundred views every 2 days. So I think my channel was in some kind of slump because of it. And if I learned any valuable lesson, it's that you really don't want to abandon your channel for months and then come back. Like, even channels, like even Pyrocynical, who has his main channel's dead, he comes back like 3 times a year. He has like a second channel, almost daily uploads, that keeps his name relevant in search terms and in the mind of a fan base. And maybe I overestimated, because someone like him would have several million views for, like, he has much more of a name that brings in power just by like the little check mark in the username, where I don't. I'm considerably much smaller, but at least for me, there's a lot of guesswork involved, which isn't a very good strategy if you plan to make any money on it, for sure. But I've spoken to people much more experienced and popular than I have, and well, their answers don't always differ from mine. Sometimes it just kind of feels like a crapshoot, and sometimes things just don't work out. And I think this project, the retrospective, is just a really harsh example of things not working out. Now, I've had videos that haven't done well, of course, like something like, let's say, the Wet Dry World video. It's only got about 20-something thousand views over 3 months, which it isn't bad. I still very much enjoy making the video. I certainly don't regret it, and it's earned me some attention, but that at least performed a little bit better. This one is just dead in the water. It's done worse than re-uploads of already unpopular videos, and something I've made in 30 seconds when I spent almost a month making this, and seeing it get nothing it's tough. It is pretty, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Not because, it's no one's fault. It's my own fault, I suppose, for just not making it good enough, but I don't know if the issue was just, it was kind of a thumbnail that didn't really work well on the website. I don't know. It's just kind of a mucky scenario all around, and I do, unfortunately, as much fun as I had playing the game and talking about it and scripting it and editing it and getting so much experience, I got nothing from it. I got $8, I got no attention from it. It was a fun passion project, but in terms of trying to kind of build a life and career from it, in a way, it just wasn't really worth it. I don't want to say I've just given up on doing any other future parts, but what's the incentive? Like, what's worth spending a month's time on dissecting a game so thoroughly if nobody cares? I don't want to make it sound like it's only purely for monetary gain. I'm willing to just speak my mind on things, even if it sort of gets in the way of making more money. I'm not solely focused on just making as much money as possible, but it is something to consider that I don't have a lot of money to go around. You know, what little I do have is thanks to everyone just watching my more popular uploads, which I really can't thank you enough for that. It means more than you would know that you would choose to watch me over anyone else. Like, I really can't kowtow and thank you enough for support. It's something I genuinely could not have ever pictured. And this isn't some kind of me begging, oh, please go watch it. You don't have to. Like, it's your time. I would rather you just have your day not affected. This upload is purely just me sort of, I guess venting is the term. Venting about it, just kind of speaking my mind, because I try and keep a very hands-off relationship with a lot of people in my life. I don't really get close to anything or anyone, but that does really wane on me, because outside of very few limiting factors, I don't have a very close connection with anyone, and I think that might be the killing blow for the kind of career, or not really career, but the kind of pathway for this branch of entertainment online. It's pretty provable that people who get on camera and are more of a social media presence and personality will just get more attention and more of a diehard following, but there's no pictures of my face online. Like, I'm not much of a personality. I feel like anyone could just make the same kind of content with the same titles. If someone else covered it before I would, it would probably get the same amount of attention. I'm just sorta, at least at this stage, I'm very much just that guy who did X. Like, I'm not really a big name. And I'm unsure if I want to change that. I don't really have many plans to be like a social media person. I only have a Twitter that I never really use seriously. I've been recommended to try and do like shorter form content, like a TikTok or a YouTube Shorts, but I don't know. I'm sort of up in the air, but I was very scared of kind of compromising my visage and my privacy to try and, I guess, kind of fit in. But now that I'm looking at the clock, and it's midway August, and in a month I'm almost going to be 22. I don't know if I've ever revealed my age. I'm in my early 20s, as you'd expect for someone doing this, but I'm kind of realizing that I don't have infinite time. You know, there's not enough time on this earth to try and be some kind of perfect visionary who is able to 100% succeed in everything doing his way. And I've genuinely been weighing the scales of what should I compromise? You know, should I compromise like my kind of, maybe not anonymity, it's not like just my face would lead to anything crazy, but what should I compromise on values I personally had for more attention and success? You know, maybe it's a bit overdramatic to say that just having a camera on my ugly mug would somehow make me sell out, but it was an opinion I had, and I do feel a little guilty kind of turning back on it for purely like a profit and monetary gain, but it is something I have to focus on because I don't have a lot of money, and it's really tough to keep money and earn money and save money where I live right now. So I think it is something to genuinely consider, that maybe I just need to do more. That what I'm doing now, the 100% I gave when I first started with the Spycicle video months ago in January, isn't the 100% I have now, where I could finish in, like, say, early August. I uploaded the BlazBlue and then the South Park video in a much shorter span of time. So I'm just wondering, or I'm more just kind of speaking out into open air. I've never really had a conversation like this with anyone, but I'm just wondering how much I can realistically do feasibly in a shorter interest of time. You know, I'm not trying to just gorge myself with cash for some kind of empire. I don't want that. I just want to feel like I can look at my bank account and not be frightened by if something happens. You know, I don't like driving if I don't have to, because I can't afford trying to, something goes wrong, I just don't have it anymore. Like, it's really the harsh reality of the situation is if something of my equipment breaks, like if the laptop I record on, if the microphone's gone, I don't have that kind of money to just replace it. Maybe saying I'm working on borrowed time's a little dramatic, but it's a mentality that's always been in my head. Like the kind of the wolf or the lion at the door that's made me work so fast despite, having a bit of a busy life. But I suppose you can take it as like a vow that I don't want to give up because something did bad. Because if I just gave up right after BlazBlue and assumed that, all right, people don't want to watch it, better just leave, then what is that? Does that make me? That makes me just, I feel so irresponsible to people who might have been interested in me. And, there's people I know online and in IRL that genuinely do want to support me. And I think it's kind of immature just to turn my back because I didn't get something I wanted. But there is something to note that not everything, there are kind of objective mistakes in this kind of business, and I really hate to admit it, but the BlazBlue video was kind of a mistake because I feel like I missed and I had to sort of work my way back up from a bad position I put myself in that I wouldn't otherwise be in. It would especially be embarrassing if this video grew faster than the BlazBlue one. That would be really unfortunate, and probably prove my point there might have been some kind of algorithm shenanigans skullduggery going on, but I suppose I don't think I'll re-upload it because that's another 3.5 hours to try and put it back, and I don't even think people would just get tired of it, and I would get tired of it. I don't think it's worth any of our time, so I think I'll just have to do the tough and not very savory thing of just swallowing my pride and just admitting that the BlazBlue Calamity Trigger retrospective was a failure, objectively. And I hate that. That was a month of my time that I guess things only really worked out because all I did was just learn how to edit faster and more efficiently, but that would have come just by practicing more anyways. I just crammed a lot of practice, and I kind of ruined my sleep schedule. I destroyed my diet for a while. I just kind of had to shovel in things and sit back down in the chair because I had so many quotas to get through by the end of the week. I'd be getting working, and it was just a mess. Like, it's just a mess, and it really threw off the trajectory of everything I had. Like, I still have to sort of climb out of a funk in order to get anywhere. It is a little depressing. I'll have to admit, it does suck, but with this kind of industry and field, you sort of have to take it on the shoulder and just kind of let it slide. You have to keep working because success becomes a lot easier to obtain. It's the only way you're going to obtain it is just by working, because if you give up, it's the only 100% way to guarantee you'll never be successful. It's kind of awkward to speak alone into a microphone about this, but I don't think I'd be able to get it out otherwise. I don't know anyone well enough to speak about this and them to just understand me past a very cursory base level, because I don't really have anyone in my life to speak about this and them understand me, which is... I really need to start networking. It's kind of embarrassing how I have any sort of following and I have no friends in the industry because I don't talk to people, which I suppose will have to be more of a online presence, however that is. But at least for now, what I'll have to focus on is just getting better editing, better script writing, better voiceovers. Everyone starts off bad. If you look at my Spycicle video, it's horrible. It's really bad. I genuinely don't recommend you watch it, but I'm not surprised it did so poorly because, wow, look at it. But You know, I thought I had peaked at the BlazBlue video, and I don't know. It just, either people didn't agree, or the algorithm didn't agree and decided to just not promote it. And it sucks. It's really unfortunate. And I know I'm not alone in this, that other people have definitely had stuff they've been so passionate about, and it's just failed, and it's kind of killed their drive and interest in working so long. And maybe it was me trying too much to be like other people. I don't pay a lot of attention to specific creators. I try and sort of stay in my own lane, but with this, I looked at so many different videos, styles, and structures, and maybe that was it. Maybe people can sort of sniff out that I was not disingenuous, but that I just wasn't being me. But again, I don't know. I feel like it's so kind of ambiguous and vague, and that's what really got me upset about it. And I feel like the only way to really get it off my chest and stop bottling it up is just to talk about it. And I don't have anyone I know who would understand or wouldn't just kind of mindlessly pat me on the back and sort of tacitly say, okay, that sucks. So at least I can speak into an unblinking, uncompromising microphone and record it and just be alone with my thoughts for a bit. But I feel like a lot of it does help. A lot, the more I speak, it does really take the weight off my shoulders and kind of prep me for more. You know, I'm not giving up. I'm working on something new right now. If you've seen my community posts, you'll know I'm posting a lot of weird things. I do have a genuine another video game topic, because I don't want to stray too far from what sort of got me popular in the first place. This is and always will be a video game channel, because if I don't want to talk about something or do something, then I just don't upload it. I still want to keep a lot of my priorities in check. You know, I feel like it'd be very, very easy to kind of end up where all the people coasting now are like the criticals and the Some Ordinary Gamers, where you can just 10 minutes kind of babble into a microphone. This isn't a diss. I'm not saying this out of some kind of envy or dislike, but I don't really want to be the person that just kind of uploads garbage for most of the time that any mouthpiece could speak just on and on. You know, I know these people have fans because of their more personality-based content, but I don't think I really want to get to the point where I have a really difficult and a tumultuous time for years trying to build something and then get so comfortable and people are just so used to my voice talking that I can speak about anything in a monotone voice and kind of just ride off of hundreds of thousands of views. Like, it's not fulfilling for me creatively or mentally. I still want to feel like I'm having a challenge, which not everyone wants. Again, this isn't me trying to prove, oh, I'm better than this guy because I don't upload reaction that's not really what I'm saying, but I do kind of want to try and emulate some of that mindset of just kind of staying in my own lane and just being me, just working on things for a lot of time. You know, this isn't my first time recording something where I'm a lot more down to earth. You know, the 1,000 subscriber special was like that as well. I don't know how regular of a genre this will be, of me just kind of speaking plainly and venting into a microphone about stuff no one cares about, but you know, I don't expect this to get anywhere. It's just a random, you know, it's something that only the most dedicated people will watch. Like, this is gonna have a very low CTR rating. That's fine. I'm not putting more than an hour of effort just to speak into a microphone. Maybe a thumbnail, you know, if I'm feeling brave. But that's okay, you know. Not everyone wants this or needs this, and that's fine. You know, I've accepted that there are certain values I hold and ways I conduct myself and the way I speak that I will never be in the top 10 or top 5, and I'm not really trying to be. All I really want from this is, all I really want from this channel is just a way to express myself, to kind of validate my own opinions and kind of my, you know, just to speak about things I like and sort of start conversations about them, even if people don't like it. I've been very much aware of how much people did not like the South Park series, but that's okay. People can make fun of me, that's fine. Like, it's hardly my first time of having a controversial opinion, suppose, but that's just the way things are, and that's okay. Like, I really don't mind. That's fine. You can make as much fun of me as you want. It's only fair. But I suppose, where was I? But the BlazBlue analog video. This has gone on for so long. I'm starting to get like raspy in my voice. I'm really terrible at recording in my microphone. But I suppose I just wanted to say I hit a bit of a setback, and it did get me in a funk for a little bit. But I don't want to give up now. As much as I would love to wake up one day and then find, oh my god, it just took a month to blow up. Now it's getting hundreds of thousands of views. No, it's kind of a fantasy land. That doesn't really happen to most people. And as much as I would like for it to get any kind of attention or money, that's, wishful thinking only gets you so much. A dream is only really made with the very mechanical logic and hard work you put into it. Like, this isn't so much of a right-brained, creative, like, dreamland kind of job, very much as it is a left-brained, very analytical, critical, logical thinking kind of work. You really have to have both sides to kind of succeed, and I wouldn't say I've succeeded. I've just had a couple good uploads that, who knows, it could be any day I could stop being recommended, because there has to be a point where it just doesn't make, like, I don't earn anything from it, and, I still want to make videos. It's just something, I enjoy the process. The process is fun enough that there will be times I'll make stuff knowing it won't get anywhere, but with how little income I have and how hard it is to kind of find good employment, there really has to be a line in the sand of how much time, considering, can I really put this much effort into something knowing that if it's 2 weeks, I don't make anything from it? Like, that's just kind of sitting on my thumbs, and it's never an easy thing to say, because you kind of want the perfect balance of genuine, individualistic, creative input versus a kind of monetary value. And I've already said it, I'm willing to sort of part with dollars for more integrity and value, but, there has to be a balance, because if I make 20 long form, hard to make, really passionate videos, and then they're all failing, well, I can't really be on the platform anymore. It's just not worth my time, because I'm still trying to build a life from all this. It would become just a hobby I do every once in a while that would still kill my engagement, but it just wouldn't be successful, because I'm almost 22. I'm tired of looking for handouts. I kind of want to build a life for myself, and if anyone's included in it, it's kind of sad being in the position I am now, but that's nobody likes whining about money. It's the worst thing. It's terrible. It's horrible, because it's kind of just a really bad negative blanket statement you have to put out. And I hate I would love to be more comfortable, but that only comes with work, and I'm prepared to put more work in. Like, a lot of the work ethic for that just taught me about how much I can do in a day, how to properly use my time and balance it with just entertainment and sleeping and other activities that I can have a healthy life from. And I suppose there is more I could say, but I think I've gone on long enough. I'm so sorry if you've been watching this far. It's just hear me kind of ramble and vent about some things that were on my mind, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to properly work and just continue without speaking about it to anyone. And it won't be many people. It's not really face to face, and I suppose there's an aspect that's missed from that, but some people will care. You're not obligated to sort of pat my ass and feel better and ask me just like, oh, there. You don't have to do that. So that's, it's optional to watch it. It's optional to get this far. it's a use of your time. But there is something to be said about the kind of connections that I haven't been really doing the best job in connecting with people that I should have. But I think from this point on, it's going to change. I'm going to be a little bit more involved in ways I haven't. I have to stand out a bit more and not just do good enough, because sometimes I'd finish and say, that's good enough. It works, it drives, it's on wheels. But that you have to do more to stand out, and I'm prepared to put in 110%, 120% to stand out, because I've already been doing this for months. You miss every shot you don't take, and I've got quite the big net here. So I'm prepared to miss some, but the only way you can guarantee missing is to not take a shot at all, because sometimes you get your ball in the net without even looking. You can do it blindfold, and sometimes by luck you can just get it in there. But you're not going to learn how to get the ball in the net without trying to practice each shot and trying to predict how the goalie is going to block you. So it really just comes from more effort, more practice, and more tenacity. Because if I find you work more, people are just naturally drawn to very charismatic people on camera. That's why I'm not on camera, because in real life I am much less confident and handsome sounding. But it's something I can work on, because I'm willing to work in different ways that I thought weren't for me. I don't want to just close doors because I'm afraid of the opportunities, or I don't like the sound of it. If it's awkward, I can shelve it. People make a bit of fun of me. That's fine. Things just kind of work out like that. But point is, there's just things I need to get off my chest. The point is, my passion project failed. It didn't get any money, didn't get any views, but sometimes that's just the way it is. And I can only hope that whenever I get around to uploading the BlazBlue Continuum Shift video, I don't know when, it's still going to be like months from now. I have a couple projects I like to do before that, and I'm really not prepared to drop everything for that. I think what I'll be doing from that point is just to work on it slowly, like whenever I'm done scripting and editing every other day, can be just working like a quarter of the script on that, doing some editing here and there, because if I leave for another month, I'm not going to survive. That's what has taught me that the strategy I employed for Calamity Trigger Retrospective did not work, and I suffered because of it. So you have to pivot in some scenarios. You have to make compromises. And that's what it's all about. Oh my goodness, this is almost 40 minutes long. This could be work. I could be working. So I think I'll cut it off here. Again, thanks if you've made it this far. I don't know how regularly this will become a genre. Probably not. I prefer to keep my thoughts a bit more private, but this is something I felt it was important to say, that I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep working. Not everything's going to be successful as much as I would like to. As much as I like to be kind of a rice gum flexor, I don't think that's healthy for me or the human mind. So I'm going to really have to earn every dollar, which is fine. That's what I set out to do. I like to take on some challenge in this field, and I'm going to find them, that's for sure, especially in the very competitive, very crowded gaming / like kind of creepy content field. I just have to stand out more, and I'll find out more ways to do it. I have a very small slice of people watching, but I'm so grateful for that, because imagine, there's only so many ways you can visualize people giving them their time just to watch you and just to pay attention to you. I wasn't really given a lot of feedback or attention for a lot of my life, so it is kind of scary to visualize people caring about you, but that's the reality of the situation. I have to be thankful for that, because if I'm not, I can just let it slip through my fingers, and then I'm back at square one, and I don't want to do that. I don't think anyone wants to do that. Right, that'll be it for me. I don't really have much else to say. My throat, as you can probably tell, is getting very, very cramped, but again, thanks for sticking by. I'm going to keep working. I'm working for you. I'm going to keep working keep working hard, efficiently, and maybe in a couple months from now, I'll make another update like this, just see where I'm at, but who knows. It's been real, so until then, have a good rest of your day.